Okay, hi guys, welcome back. I'm your host, Shannon Beveridge. Quick intro today. Oh, the world just feels so heavy, doesn't it? I know. Good morning. How are you? I'm terrible. No, I'm kidding. But am I kidding? It just feels like every week Trump is doing weirder and weirder and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse things. And it's so much to process and it's very overwhelming. And I feel like every time I open up my phone, there's some new piece of news that is horrific, whether it's directly related to Donald Trump or like just other world events happening. I felt like that in 2024. Like there was a lot going on that was just so overwhelming and feeling very helpless. But in 2025, it already feels worse. I want to come on here and be like, you guys, everything's going to be okay. But like, I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know if you saw Hank Green had this crash out this week, but he just was kind of like, can you just admit you don't know what's going on? Can you just admit you don't know what's going on? And I'm like, I really relate. I feel like I don't know what's going on because to know everything would be so, I mean, I do know what's going on. I just don't want to. I don't want to, but I do. Ugh. Anyway, this episode is sponsored by Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. If you want an easy way to start cooking healthy, clean food at home, I recommend Green Chef. They have a variety of recipes curated for different lifestyles and also different dietary needs. I don't know about y'all, but when I cook at home, I tend to cook the same things over and over again because I just cook what I know. But Green Chef makes it really easy to learn new recipes and they send you all the food right there to your door. And then you don't have to do all of the thinking when it comes to going to the grocery store. Oh, and you don't even have to go to the grocery store. Who doesn't love that? I love Green Chef. The recipes are so easy and they taste great. Thrive all year with clean, easy meals from Green Chef. Go to greenchef.com/ShannonFree and use code ShannonFree to get started with free salads for 2 months and 50% off your first box. That's just a lot. It's just a lot going on. I went to the gym this week. I went to the gym a good amount this week. Not to flex, but maybe I could now. I might have a muscle or two. But I went to the gym this week, point being, and there was a guy, and this is in LA, there was a guy wearing a Make America Great Again hat. And I was wearing this hat, the Friend of Dorothy hat. And I was just like, he was right behind me and we were doing like arm workouts. And I was just like, ugh. Just felt like such a juxtaposition of the world. And I just can't believe they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're here. Oh, very, 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 very overwhelming. Very overwhelming. Yeah. And then there's like personal life stuff too. But it's kind of hard to even, I mean, no, it's not. I'm definitely thinking about my personal life a lot. Like a lot. In a way that I also feel guilty about not, feels so trivial compared to like the government changing the website from LGBTQIA plus to LGB, like, fuck me. And then I'm like thinking about my own personal life. But how can you not? Just let this just be a reminder. If you are out there freaking out about the government, freaking out about world events, freaking out about, like the world at large, just know you're also allowed to freak out about your personal life. You don't need to feel guilty. You are allowed to be feeling your own feelings. We are not designed and like evolved enough as human beings to be able to process everything that's going on right now and also be showing up in our personal lives and like taking care of ourselves the right way. So just whatever you have to do to get to tomorrow, take care of yourself, please. And know that I love you. And even if I don't know what the fuck is going on, I'm here for you. I hope that this podcast can be in some way, shape, or form a safe space of relief for at least an hour a week if you tune in. And I will be here. If you need a little break, if you need to turn your brain off from that stuff and, I don't know, listen to queer people who love you and think that you are valid and know that you exist and see you, please tune in. While we're at it, also please come to my tour. It's in March 5th to the 21st. I hope that it will just be like a very safe space. And again, the same thing, the same idea of like a remove yourself from the world at large for a second. I hope that the tour can be that. And I just want to give you a heads up. I am going to be announcing the guests, I think next week. If you have not bought a ticket yet and you really want to go, you should do it before I announce the guests, because I do think when I announce the guests, then the guests will tell people to come. And so if you were like on the fence, not sure if you need to like find friends to go with you, this should be the time. Make sure you reach out to your friends and be like, I want to go to this show. Because yeah, the guests will be announced, I think, next week. And then those people will tell people, and then maybe you won't be able to get a ticket. And I don't want that to happen. And also back to the MAGA hat, and this being the opposite of a MAGA hat, in my personal opinion, this hat is also still for sale. It's the same hat that I've been making, but this is a baseball hat. I never made a baseball hat. It's embroidered. I think a lot of people requested them in the past because the other hat's kind of like a different kind of style. And this is just a very normal dad hat, the kind of hat you've seen and you love and you could wear if you want. The guest this week is Chelsea Cutler, musician, amazing, amazing, amazing artist, queer artist. Grammys were last night. This was recorded weeks before that. And Doechii won, which is awesome. But yeah, more gay artists 2025. And if you're looking for one, Chelsea Cutler is a great example. And she has amazing music. And I have been a fan of Chelsea, holy shit, for so long. All right. I love y'all. Everything will be okay. Light always wins over the dark or something. I need to read a book. Yeah, okay. Love you. Okay, hi guys. My name's Shannon Beveridge. I'm the host of Exes and O's, a podcast where we talk about queer relationships and sex. And I'm so excited for my guest today. You may know her from her music, and also you're kind of like, your song goes so viral on TikTok. So you might have seen Chelsea Cutler on TikTok as well.
Hey.
Chelsea Cutler.
What's up? How are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. I can't believe, I was thinking about this earlier. I've been your fan since before you even came out or before you had a girlfriend. Do you remember that?
Real ones knew.
I mean, there was something about the oversized jerseys you were wearing all the time. I'm like, she's one of me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. A lot. Yeah.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like I probably was secretly like on Tumblr looking at and consuming all of your content before I knew as well.
You were just like, this is cute. Like, I was
like, I'm so intrigued by all of these girls kissing each other. What's
Why do we care
on?
about this so much?
This is crazy.
You're from Connecticut originally, is that right? Yeah. But you've lived in New York now for...
I've been here for kind of like the better part of 7 years.
That's
which
wild.
Is really crazy, yeah.
Because you're, what, are you 28? Are you 27?
27, yeah.
So for so long.
Yeah.
But you have like such an interesting journey with music, right? You were going to school. You were an athlete.
Yeah.
And then you dropped out. And then, did you drop out because your music started to perform well? Or was it like, I can't focus on my music and this at the same time?
It was kind of a little bit of both, which is best case scenario.
Yeah.
But I was playing soccer in college, so I knew I wanted to stay as much or like as long as I could. And then also, obviously, like God bless them, but my family, obviously was putting a lot of...
They wanted you to stay.
Yeah, the narrative was you go to college and you graduate and then you go to maybe grad school or work in finance or law or whatever. And yeah, so I think there was kind of a pressure in general to stay. And then things kind of started organically working. And then my parents actually sat me down a few days before I left for preseason for my junior year.
Okay.
And they were like convincing me to leave college, which was crazy because they obviously had been so passionate about me.
Yeah, that's
staying.
Really, and that like never happens, I feel.
Yeah, no, I'm so fortunate. But yeah, I mean, they kind of were just like the writing's on the wall. You can always go back. I went to a small school called Amherst College, and they were amazing too. They were like, you can always come back.
Oh, nice. So you like basically were like, maybe I'm taking a gap year.
But yeah, I was like, what's the word? I got the offer to go support Quinn 92 on tour. So it's like I physically can't be in college, obviously, and go do this.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone in my life was like, let's try this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. You can always come back.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm really lucky.
And then it obviously worked. And it's still
working. It's doing something.
It's definitely doing something.
It's definitely doing something.
I feel like I really resonated with your songs before there was ever like, I love that you make love songs now and you use like she, her pronouns because it's just, I feel like we don't always get that, you know?
Yeah,
which is so nice, but you weren't doing that then. And your music though was so, are you anxious? Like, do you have a lot of anxiety?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I do, for
Yeah.
sure. It's really interesting also you bring up the pronoun thing because I feel like when I was writing songs in college, I always use like really neutral kind of words to address. Like there were a lot of like yous.
Yeah.
Like,
just keep it ambiguous.
and like I had a boyfriend for like all of college too.
He's
like
is this song about me?
Bless his little soul for everything I put him through. But yeah, I actually noticed like even in the last kind of 6 months of writing too, I've been using like she, her pronouns so like liberally that I almost was thinking like, am I gonna like ostracize all the straight people? Like, I've been doing it so much that I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe I'm gay. I don't know. Like, I haven't like written one song about a boy or thought about a boy in so long. So maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's just the development of that is so interesting.
Gay people consume so much straight content and we don't feel, I mean, obviously, but we listen to so many like songs that are straight,
Totally.
you know? And
yeah.
you still are like, oh, this is everything me and my girlfriend went through. Like you can still relate even if the pronoun is different. But I do feel like queer artists in general have an aversion to ostracizing because I guess straight people there are more of them, unfortunately.
And I think that probably because we're a smaller sect of people that we're probably worried about ostracizing ourselves further by putting any distance between.
For sure.
But I don't know. A lot of she, her pronouns going on and everything I'm writing right now, so that's good.
When is that project coming out? Do you know?
Good question. I don't know. I have no idea.
Cool.
My manager's right there. Collectively we have no clue. But I guess sometime in this year.
Cool.
Probably, yeah.
That's
I just
awesome.
feel like it's so hard to like know when you're finished writing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know, but like I could imagine.
Yeah, but it's probably like editing things that you're working on and like video content that you're working on. Like it's very hard to know like when you've captured enough or when to put the pen down with editing. So I think any creative can relate to that.
Who knows? But I'm excited for your new album. I mean,
Thank
Brent
you.
3 is amazing, by the way.
Thank you, dude.
And so sad. Like, it's so breakup. Good for a breakup.
Yeah. And it's crazy because Jeremy's not going through a breakup at all. And we actually wrote like the vast majority of it prior to my breakup too. So
wow. So you're just tapping into old feelings?
Well, I think once you experience something, you can kind of
pull from it
forever. Yeah,
I agree. For sure. This episode is sponsored by Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. I genuinely actually love cooking so much, but I don't like coming up with new recipes. And also, when I go to the grocery store and I pick out what to buy, I always end up buying too much. And it also takes me forever to cook. Forever. But Green Chef has literally changed my life and it makes cooking so much easier. And I think it's so much more rewarding to cook at home and cook for yourself. Not to mention, not going out to eat all the time is so nice for your wallet. Green Chef has pre-made sauces and pre-portioned ingredients, so there's less prep and less mess. And for me, less waste, because I always get my proportions wrong when I'm cooking, and then I go wasting so much food, which makes me feel so guilty. I can't even tell you. I hate wasting food. It's a new year, and if you want to create better eating habits that last, Green Chef is such an easy option. They have dietitian-developed recipes, and it's delivered each week to your door. Ditch fads and create healthier eating habits with real, clean food. And with Green Chef, there are recipes for a variety of different lifestyles and dietary needs. I love Green Chef. The recipes are so easy and they taste great. And I've been using Green Chef to cook with my sister and my brother-in-law for years now. Whenever I go to New York, we always cook together, and it's something I so look forward to. So I love it. You'll love it. You should try it. Thrive all year with clean, easy meals from Green Chef. Go to greenchef.com/ShannonFree and use code ShannonFree to get free salads for 2 months and 50% off your first box. I can't believe you were writing that pre and post breakup.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah. And yeah, also I was thinking this as well. The like queer community is so tight knit, if you will.
Oh my God, yeah. There's like 10 lesbians. I always say that on this podcast. Like, there's like no one.
But they all know each other.
We all know everyone.
I don't know if it's comforting or terrifying.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
When you're in when you're not going through a crisis, I feel like it's comforting. But the second you're going through a crisis and you're like, oh my God, everyone knows everything about my life and my business, it's kind of like, I get anxiety from it.
You know what? That's kind of been a new experience for me as a, navigating like as a single person for the first time, because the relationship I was in was all of my 20s.
Yeah.
And
your first girlfriend, right?
Yeah, correct. So it was, so there was kind of never really an immersion into the like, I don't want to say it's not like I was ever immersed in the queer community, because I think I did it voluntarily, like in doses and in ways that felt good for me, while also kind of trying to keep my relationship like somewhat private, and like, which obviously like our privacy deteriorated over time also, like as I felt more comfortable sharing. But I feel like it's just obviously being single, you're more immersed in it.
Totally. And because you're more available to just do things, like,
correct,
especially if you're dating a woman, like two women dating each other, you can spend a lot of time together. And then when you break up, you're like, what do I do with all this extra time? It's like, I guess I'm hanging out with gay people, other gay people. How has that been for you as a seasoned public breakupper?
Oh,
not saying that as a flex, that's fighting tears with humor. But how has it been for you?
Well, I think it's been kind of interesting. I've never, like, I haven't addressed it publicly really at all.
That you guys did split?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, obviously, again, like, I think I always say this level of fame is really awesome because really no one cares. Mm-hmm. And I can, like, go play Radio City and, like, tour and have a career.
You're in a very cool position, like a very sweet spot.
It's so wonderful.
Congrats.
That's awesome. I saw that, like, I saw this Maggie Rogers TikTok, and she's such a sweet human, but I saw her talking about how, like, she can play 2 sold-out nights at MSG, but, like, sit at a coffee shop in the West Village, and no one cares. Mm-hmm. And that, like, her career trajectory is my dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because, like, I don't feel like there's a big enough audience or platform to have, like, had to address it publicly.
You didn't have to make, like,
a statement. Like, no one fucking cares, like, at all. But then, like, a very small, like, subset of people in the world do care, so it's obviously weird to, like, navigate a breakup while, like, I'm not an idiot. Like, there's a Discord page and a Reddit page and, like, people speculating and talking about it. So it definitely kind of made me anxious at first. I haven't gone on a date with a girl who didn't, like, know who I am or like in any capacity, like, had heard about my breakup in, like, some way.
That's so...
and it's, like, again, like, it's, like, this level of fame is so bizarre because it's, like, you kind of sound dumb saying it, but also it's the reality. So it's been, like, a little, it's been, like, a little weird to navigate for sure, but we're out here doing our thing, doing our best.
You're doing it. While you were promoting Brent 3, were you, like, talking about how you're single? Like, is that how you've kind of, like, gone about not announcing a breakup, but kind of being like, I'm a single person? Because I feel like that's, like, a really easy way to go about, an easier route than the announcement of it all. Like, if you just let yourself process that behind closed doors, and then you're like, randomly one Tuesday, you're in an interview, and you're like, Well, as a single person, it's kind of like...
I think it's never been that direct, but it's, like, I think we've been fairly careful about not really speaking about it.
Yeah.
In any press we were doing or any interviews or anything, mostly just like out of respect and enough time has passed now that like I'm not too
stressed. Well, we don't have to go into the details.
Yeah,
at all. It's just more like interesting, like navigating coming back out into into the world.
Yeah, I mean, there were times part of me wanted to like shout it from the rooftops because I'm not like a very assertive person. So I'm like, slide in my DMs. And like, why does no one want to go on a date with me?
Well, tell them.
No, I'm scared of you. But like at the same time, I think, just like out of respect just for the situation and like, just, there's so much love there. So just, and it's just, I don't know. I haven't been single in 6 years, so.
It's crazy to be single and gay in any way for the first time.
For
like,
sure,
that's a whole new ball game of dating. Also, dating as a 27-year-old is not the same as dating as a 20-year-old. Like,
no.
At 20, are you going on dates even? I mean,
and it turns out that, like, it's not a very cool excuse when you don't really know how to date to say, like,
I've never done this before.
Like, it's my first time. Like, I haven't done this since I was 20 years old. People are, like, at first they're like, oh, like, I get it. And then, like, after a while, it's kind of like, all right, man, this is getting old. Like, you need to grow up a little bit.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you will, too. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I think that's, like, a really weird thing, too, as, like, a like, any amount of public person. Knowing someone could figure out, even if someone didn't know the details of you before they went on a date with you, they could go on one date with you and then look you up and know more about you than you could maybe know about them.
Yeah, I mean, 100%.
Which is just like a strange...
And you can see every photo where I've had a double chin. You can see, like... like
the good, the bad, the ugly is all there.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's obviously a level of accessibility that's a little bit abnormal.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that's nerve-wracking. And I think, like, after having kind of such an insular relationship for so long, to then, like, try to put yourself out there is horrific. Because, like, even if you are not in any way like a public-facing figure,
for anyone,
this community is beautiful and vicious, and at the same time, with all I think we can all like say that it at times can just feel kind of what you're saying, like nowhere to run, and like there's no, it feels like at times it's been really challenging to navigate, but and that's I think everyone feels that way, not just people who have a platform.
Yeah, I think it's a woman-loving woman problem that we're just so connected, and it feels like there's so few of us. So it's like you could figure out things about someone whether or not they had an Instagram or not, by just like asking around.
I've gone on like when my friends were joking, they called me a hinge warrior because like there was like a month where I was like, all right, fuck it, like I'm gonna go on some dates, like let's see how this goes. But then like if you're new to the scene, you don't know that. Like, you're going on dates with all these girls who know each other. Mm-hmm.
Like,
but
you're like,
you don't know that they know
exes.
each other. So
yeah.
It's like, I have to leave New York forever.
How many dates did you go on? Like, did you try to knock a few out?
Yeah, I went on a lot of dates. I wish to God I hadn't. I mean, I wish you could take it back, but you can't. No, man, I mean, I went on dates where girls were like, I heard from my friend that you guys went on a first date at this exact same spot.
No.
I was like, I mean, it's a block from my house and I don't know you, so I'm not going to like try that hard.
I'm dead. You got called out. I mean,
I got called out like a lot.
Like many times? Like
no. Not about like where the date was, but
like other stuff?
I think it's just, like you learn you learn how to date for the first time like, after you've been in like such a long relationship. But
what do you think you've learned most?
To run away and hide forever.
No.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think it's like still a work in progress, for sure. But I don't know. I think maybe to not take two girls to the same bar. No, I don't know. I have to think about. I'll think about on that. But,
yeah. I'm sure you're learning more than you even realize, and like things that aren't even necessarily like tangible advice stuff. You know what I mean? Like just kind of like learning a skill. Like dating is kind of like a skill, and I feel like the origin story. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but with your ex was kind of like a meeting in the like natural environment,
yeah, through
right?
friends, yeah. Because I think when you meet someone, whether it's through friends or like in the wild, like typically there's some sort of spark, whether you feel an attraction or you had like an interaction in some way that, you know, is intriguing to you. And so when you're kind of like looking at this profile on a screen, and for the record, the Hinge is deleted off the face of the universe. So don't worry, everyone, I'm out of the game. But
slide into her DMs.
No, just leave me alone. Okay, I'm never dating ever again. But I just feel like when you're looking at like a profile on a screen, it's very, very hard, particularly now that the weather is cold, to leave my apartment to go meet this person that like I don't. And again, you know, the Hinge is gone, so we're not doing this anymore.
This is past tense.
But yeah, I don't know.
We can go do single things together.
Yeah,
and not
I know.
Date.
I like called a friend last night, and I was like, all right, this is like my first night home in a while. You know, I'm not gonna smoke weed. I'm gonna like really try to just be here. Chill. And it's not like my breakup happened like a month ago. Like it's been honestly like kind of not like significant, but a fair amount of time at this point. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so what should I do? Like, what do you do when you get home from work?
What do I do if I'm not smoking weed, not hanging out with a girlfriend, and not going on dates?
And because normally I will try to fill every night with even just seeing friends and doing something. And so last night I was really intent on like I'm gonna read or take a bath or do something.
Be alone.
So
I'm not good at that either.
I think it's really hard.
I'm so social, so that is like a comfort for me. Like if I'm sitting at home doing nothing for a night, I'm like, surely something's going on.
For
like,
sure,
I have to find, and in New York, I'm sure it's even easier to like constantly distract yourself because there's always an event. There's always like someone doing something or getting a drink or going to dinner or whatever. LA is kind of like that too, but LA is a little trickier just because distance. And
if I was in LA, I don't think I would leave my property.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to, well, I'm fortunate, like, I have dogs, so every day I kind of have to, like, break the wall of going outside first thing in the morning to walk them. So I'm like, all right, I've left already.
Yeah.
I can do it again.
Yeah. You rip the Band-Aid off every day.
Yeah.
You have 2 dogs now?
2 dogs.
Are they both doodles? Golden doodles?
Bernedoodles, yeah.
Bernedoodles, okay.
Yeah.
How... I have questions I want to ask you that I just won't ask on the podcast.
You ask me whatever you want.
I'm just thinking, how has it been? Is that so sad for your ex? Because like I'm imagining she had a relationship with your dogs too.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not like the first thing we're chatting about.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's very hard.
I'm just thinking.
It's hard for me.
Yeah.
They are. I love them. I wanted a second dog, but there are days where I'm like, "Come on, guys! Like,
can y'all chill with me?
Like, just be like 4% easier today."
That's so fair. I'm just thinking about it because my ex had a cat that I'm obsessed with, and it's been like a running joke between, like, as we were breaking up, like a joke of like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to like miss this cat so much. I don't even like cats, but I love this cat.
Yeah.
So I've been like, if you ever need a cat sitter, please let me know. I'm like,
do you think that would be healthy for you.
Okay, listen, Chelsea. My breakup is fresher. So I'm
That's
only,
fair. Yeah, how far out are you?
I guess, like, what is today? The 7th? Like 3 weeks?
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very.
That's really
very.
fresh. How are you? Are you okay? No. Yes?
No. I'm definitely I'm very overwhelmed. There's a lot of other things going on also in like with my family so like I have family stuff going on. I have a breakup going on. I have the internet's reaction to a breakup going on.
Right.
And then.
And you kind of had maybe no choice but to address it.
Yeah, but
publicly?
think we could have done it differently.
Okay.
It could have been.
That's fair.
Hindsight is 2020.
What do you think you would? Is that?
Yeah. You can ask.
This is my podcast
No.
now.
It's conversational. You can definitely ask. I think we should have processed more before we let the internet in, because now a lot of the processing that we're doing around the breakup is more about the internet and less about the breakup, which is what, to my point of like, am I doing okay? Not really, but mostly because I feel so pulled in a bunch of directions that it doesn't really feel real to me. Like I haven't really processed that I'm actually going through a breakup. I feel like I'm just going through a lot, and I'm also not at home. So that I'm terrified because I go home tomorrow and I feel like it'll feel a little bit more real when I'm like back in my own space. Like this felt like kind of just a vacation where I'm like, and I've been really busy, which is helpful in some ways, but hurtful in like that. I'm like, I know that these feelings are somewhere in me.
Definitely.
And they will come out one way or another, even if I try not to feel them.
Distraction has been really effective in moderation as long as I'm supplementing distraction with periods to grieve and feel.
Yeah.
So
I think that makes perfect sense. I think I can only imagine for you, like when you have a career like you, if you're like going on tour, that has to be just extreme, like the ultimate distraction.
Surprisingly, no. No, tour really exacerbated a lot of how I was feeling, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, I love touring. I loved this Brent tour that we did. It was really special.
Beautiful. I saw.
Thank you.
It was like so cool. The stage and everything looked amazing. And that you had an orchestra.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
A little string quartet with us every night.
That is so cool. I'm so sad I didn't go. When I saw it on TikTok, I was like, that's like my dream. My dream. I love y'all's music together.
Thank you, man. I mean, I hope that we'll do it again at some point.
Please.
I think we will. I'm sure it'll manifest in some way. But, yeah, I don't know. I think tour is like tough because your mental health is being tested all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of the self-care practices that you're able to implement at home obviously don't travel as well with you. Yeah. So I definitely had a tougher time than I have in the past.
Wow.
But that's great for growth.
Yeah, that's great for growth. I feel like what's the you have a song and you're like, I'm setting boundaries, like practicing setting boundaries.
Oh, I don't feel alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've set more boundaries?
I think that I'm learning to.
Still, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that song from like 2 years ago?
Yeah, that was from a little while ago. Yeah, so it's a process. Clearly, yeah.
That wasn't like that was
nothing overnight here.
No. I'm still also learning. I feel like that's been a huge struggle for me. Boundaries.
Yeah.
Like I have a really hard time.
With
what? Everything. Like I think everything. I'm not good. I'm like. It's like coming from, I don't know, it comes from a bit of people pleasing and stuff, but it's also just, I think, distraction, like all of it. Like I don't ever like really make sure I'm taking care of myself in relationships, in life, like in everything. I'm kind of just like, go. I'll feel it when I have to feel it. And then it happens in ways where I'm like, damn it, that was obviously going to catch up to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I reset, and then I just try to do the same thing again. And it's like, okay, now I'm going to need to stop doing that. Like, I can't it's obviously not working for me emotionally because it just like it's like a loop. I feel like I'm on like this loop of like go 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 crash, go 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 crash.
Yeah.
And I think if I were a little bit better about I just don't say no to like anything ever.
Well, I think that it's hard to say no and put in your own boundaries when we live in a society that's like very hyper capitalistic.
Mm-hmm.
Not to get into that, but
No.
then I think an added layer too is when you are self-employed.
Mm-hmm.
At least I can speak to my experience that like I feel very indebted to myself, and I feel like if I'm saying no, then I'm the only one to blame if, there's a level of success that I want that I'm not reaching.
That's so true. Yeah.
And but it's obviously really unhealthy. And
Yeah.
I think it's obviously it's I don't have the answer because it's something that I struggle with as well, and I'm actually like spending a lot of time right now thinking about and trying to implement things to live more sustainably.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I get that, like, let's hustle.
Mm-hmm.
We're burnt out. I need time off. All right, I'm chilling. Let's hustle. And it's obviously like, it's there. You can't do that for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Eventually you're just going to live in the burnout of it all. I think it's so true, though, about being self-employed, because you're kind of like, I am my boss, and I also when you have people working for you too, then you're like, I'm also responsible for you. So I'm like, if I take time off, then you don't make I don't make money, you don't make money.
Right.
There's like this whole like brainchild of like, don't stop, keep going. Okay, can we talk about, and you can say no, but can we talk a little bit about sex?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering how that journey has been, and you don't have to get into detail, but has that also been a similar journey since you're going back into the dating world?
Well, I think what's interesting maybe about my, like, expression of my sexuality the last bit of time is that I went off all my antidepressants in some sort of masochistic rage.
Nice.
Right? As, like, when I, was going through the initial bit of the breakup. And so I think then I experienced the resurgence of a sex drive that is probably similar to that of like a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I was like in therapy and I was like, I think something's wrong with me. And she was like, no, this is fine. Normal. This is normal. Like, you're chilling. So I think like Lexapro is great. Everyone should be on what they need to be on.
Yeah.
It also, it made me not care if I lived or died about a lot of things, which it, obviously can do if, like, it's not right for you and not the right dosage.
But it also kills your sex drive for a lot of people, right?
Dude, I was like, if you told me no human being would touch me intimately again for the rest of my life, I was like,
perfect.
That sounds excellent.
That sounds normal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been on anything like that, but I've had many friends like go in and out of being on it too and have that same kind of like whoosh, like feeling like themselves again.
Yeah.
Were you really young when you went on it, or like relatively?
I went on it when I was 19. So I was on Lexapro for 8 years, no questions asked, and I was on Wellbutrin on top of that for like 6 years.
Okay. So like the whole duration of your relationship you were on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you think that would have changed parts of your relationship?
I mean, I think inherently, you know, I think like physical intimacy is really important, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And
it was just like it was not something that I could connect with myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. I can't imagine going through all of that, then going through a breakup, then feeling those feelings again when you are partnerless. And then you're like, oh God.
Yeah.
What do I do about
timing
this?
Was a little bit challenging for sure.
Yeah. Okay, earlier too you said that you think you're writing your album and you're using she, her pronouns more. And you're like, oh, maybe I am gay. Have you ever like identified as anything, or the whole time have you just been like, I have this partner, I love this partner, and like?
I think it was more that for me. I've always felt like I am probably more like viscerally attracted to men, which like I know no one in my life like wants to hear or believe.
But your truth is your truth.
Emma's always like, bro, you're gay, just relax.
Emma wants everyone to be gay.
Like I could kiss a boy, it'll be great. But yeah, I mean, I do feel that way, but like I just like feel like I think when I was initially single, I was on a mission to hook up with a man. I was like, I'm gonna do this. Like I need this before I could ever like settle down with anyone again. And then it just like I went on a few dates with boys and I was like, you guys text like the desert and like talking to you is like I just feel like we're gonna be friends. And like it just, and then after a few months of that mission, I was just like, whatever, it's obviously not happening for me. I don't feel like very compelled to pursue it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, you don't have to ever now, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally.
You can decide or like keep changing, evolve.
If like a perfect, like beautifully tattooed, sweet man with a lot of intellect and emotional sensitivity walked into my life and wanted to love me forever, we could definitely chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the way you put that. Also, like, I feel like that's every girl's dream, and there's got to be, like, 4 of those men.
I know.
Like, where are they?
And I don't think the, like, little queer girl that I am is, like, their first choice.
No, you probably are. Those kind of guys love, like, a little
they're like, threesome is imminent.
Yeah. And they're usually by themselves.
Yeah, so I don't know. I love people. Like, I don't really know at all.
But you would, ideally, you want to get married one day.
Yes.
I can't tell if that was, like, sad or happy. Yes.
Yes, I do.
Do you want to have kids?
Yeah, I do. I want to have kids really badly. I want to have kids if I have the means for child care where I can still work.
Yeah.
I want to be a dad really badly, but that's not happening for me. 'Cause I'll be in a wonderful equal partnership. And
I've never heard someone say that like that, but that's
well,
you're like, I'd be a great dad.
No, it's not that I'm going to be an exceptional mother. Like I know that, but like I think that a lot of the responsibility of child rearing just like inherently, even physically, like falls obviously on women. So like, does it sound great to be a dad and like get a nut off and then have a child and like, that
you get to like play with and hang out with, and then
like, it's so cute while the woman's body is being like
torn apart,
used. Yeah, like being a dad sounds really great, but I'm gonna be a mom and it's gonna be excellent. Yeah. Do you want kids?
I think so. I go back and forth. I'm like pretty sure but also I'm 32 and I'm single and I'm like, I don't know.
You're so young.
I'm not in a rush to do anything. I've recently been talking more about, I always thought I wanted to carry a baby because I thought that would be cute. Like I'd be like, me and my little like saggy pants and
me and my
pregnant
morning sickness every day.
Okay,
adorable.
All I was thinking about was the visual of it. I thought would be adorable, and then I was like, how cool that a woman's body can do that. I'm like, how crazy. Like I should experience that one day. And then I had G-Flip on my podcast, and they were talking about how they're like, oh, like I just don't want my boobs to get bigger, and I don't want my hips to get wider, and I was like, wait.
Are those all gonna happen?
I was like, wait, I forgot about that. This is not cute anymore. I wouldn't care if my boobs got bigger because I know they could get smaller again. And also, I could get a boob job at any time. But my hips getting bigger is a way more, I like that my body kind of randomly came out looking like a little boy.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
Does pregnancy change? Like,
your like
change,
hips
you think?
get wider, especially if especially if your hips are not that wide to begin with, because for the baby to come through, it like
So what's happening? Like, is like my bone structure gonna change?
Your bones. When they dig up a body, like an old skeleton, they can tell if the woman, they can tell if it's a woman or a man already, but they can tell if the woman had a baby.
Because the hips are
they like
expanded?
move. Yeah. See,
Well,
we all should talk about this more, so we all know. But I think if you had like, I don't know, I'm also not a doctor, but when I heard that as an idea, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. So I'm really hopeful that whoever I end up marrying is like, I've just wanted to carry babies my whole life, and then we can just figure that out.
Yeah.
Or we could adopt a baby. Again, I'm not ready for any of that, but it has been crazy because my sister's going through both of those kind of processes. Like, she's trying to have a baby, and it is so fucking expensive, like all of it.
Oh yeah.
Just making if you don't just get pregnant, it's so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
It's much more expensive, I think, than people are understanding. Like,
I would like to marry someone who is at a very large company that needs to make a lot of efforts around its like being progressive and liberal, and therefore their health insurance plan will cover these things.
Yeah. Do you consider yourself a top or a bottom? Like, do you think of yourself in that way?
No.
Or a switch? Or a...
I've literally never thought about that in my life.
Has anyone asked you?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Not just me, obviously, but... And when they ask you, are you like, what?
I don't know what that means. Can we just take our clothes off? Like, why are we talking about this?
Yeah, I think that's fair, too. I feel like it's becoming, like, more... I don't know, like almost more talked about. I feel like for a long time, a lot of lesbians, like when I first was coming out, speaking from my own experience, but when I was first coming out and I had a girlfriend, people would be like, who's the top and who's the bottom? And we would be like, that is like a gay man, that's a gay male thing more than it is a lesbian thing. But then as time has gone on, I'm kind of like, I think that is a universal thing. I think even straight people have like a top and bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, like, I really think that personalities in people's sex lives are like, I think people in any type of relationship are more assertive or more passive, or like to kind of be both, or like have masculine moments and feminine moments. Like even like in my like relationships with men, like there were times that I was like, I just love feeling like a little girl, not a little girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just like girly and like.
Baby girl.
Yeah, and like yes, exactly. Which is like worse than little girl.
I know.
Okay. But and then like in my relationships with women, like it's the same. Like there are times where like I feel more assertive, and times where like I'm just a girl.
Just a girl.
Yeah.
Standing in front of a girl, asking her to love me.
I don't know. Do you like feel?
I feel like I identified way more as like kind of a switch when I first was coming out. And I think as I've gotten more confident in myself and like my sexuality and even like my expression of self, I'm definitely feel more top than bottom, because I definitely do not want to feel like baby girl. Like I don't have no.
It's so nice.
I know. I can imagine.
I can see. Care of.
I can see the appeal so much. That's why I like to do the other. Right?
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, I feel like I'm definitely just also, I don't know. I like prefer. I don't even know if this is exactly true, but I think I prefer to give than to receive. Like I get more pleasure, and I'm not even talking about sex. Like in general, giving. I get more satisfaction from that than I do from receiving gifts.
You're a great person. I would like to receive.
No, it's
gifts.
But we need both
and everything.
And we need both. We would have no balance in the world.
Yeah,
if we didn't have both. But okay, I was talking about that last night. That's why I wanted to ask you.
But I also like on my list of questions, I don't want anyone to ask me in a sexual context ever. Mm-hmm. I would say that is
top
on
or
my
bottom
list.
If you are a top or bottom?
Correct, yeah.
Do you have other questions on that list?
Yes, but I
mine would be like, will you do foot stuff with me? I would be
that
like,
hadn't even crossed my mind.
that's a
Oh,
no for me.
no.
Okay, wait. What you have ones you're thinking of? You don't have to say them.
I
but
do.
You have.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is so bad, but like I get the ick so easily, and I know that like we all do. Like I think we're in an ick like epidemic where like no one wants to be vulnerable with each other at all, and so we're just projecting, and like the second someone does something vulnerable, we're like,
yeah,
I hate you.
Yeah, and we also have the internet telling us there's a million other options at all times.
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
Like, to leave something that early on, you're like, well, there's so many other people, not so many lesbians, but
yeah. No, I'm sure.
Are they? Yeah.
I really don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm doing the best I can. I have no idea. But yes, unfortunately, I feel like I have a list for sure.
Do you have like a list of just like people you wouldn't date, like things someone could do that we wouldn't date them, not sex?
Yeah, off the top, I could definitely name some things.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I would be like people who don't tip or people who are rude to servers.
Yeah, like how you treat someone who like has nothing to give you or like cannot serve you or your life in any way.
True.
That that's really important. I think like fundamental like kindness and consideration for other people.
Yeah.
I would say that like one of the biggest things I've noticed in the dating world is like a general lack of consideration for others. And I don't even mean like towards me as I'm seeing someone, but just in general. Like I just don't think people think outside of themselves enough.
I could see that.
And I really, I don't know. I valued that a lot about, the person I was with for a long time. Mm-hmm. And shout out, that's something excellent about you, among many things.
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure I feel like your first love like that, or like especially like first girl relationship, you're gonna take away so many things that are like non-negotiables.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like after being in a 6-year relationship for like all of my 20s, like. And a relationship that was like for the most part really healthy and incredible, like the bar is so high, and it just is.
Yeah.
Like there, and and like, not crying. Don't worry. Already did that today, folks. So we're good. But yeah, and like I genuinely like there. I say that with like, like I hope she hears me say that. Like the bar is so high. Because of the relationship we had, and so I think maybe someone will love me again who I think is as great, but it's gonna take a lot. I think
I'm sure that will happen 100%, but
we'll see.
yeah, but also you're gonna have to be ready to accept it. And like, do you feel like you actually are? Like, do you feel like you're in a place where
right now?
Yeah.
No, what? Of course not. Are you kidding? I'm sitting here like the bar was set so high. No way. Don't talk to me, anyone.
Don't slide in her DMs. But we're in a gay renaissance. Like everyone, it's so. Even being a lesbian is like cool right now in 2024.
Great.
I feel like for a long time it felt like kind of not that cool. It felt more like bold. Like people were like being a lesbian. Like that's so, like. Cool in a bold way, like to go so far out of the box. But now it's like cool in a cool way. Like people are like, I wish I was a lesbian. Like girls on my TikTok For You page will bitch about a guy, and then they'll be like, I really just wish I was lesbian.
It must be hard.
It must be. Now we have sympathy for the straight people.
I do. I mean, I don't get me wrong. A lot of my best friends are dudes, and I love them so much. Girls are just more fun to text.
Is that
truly? That's like
that's what it comes down to.
That's what it comes down to for me. This is a more entertaining text conversation. I'm just kidding. But no, I'm gonna die on that hill. Actually,
I mean it's important.
And if the boy like was that fun to text, like I mean no.
Would you judge him a little bit?
No. Actually, not at all.
No,
I'd be like, you were crafted for me specifically.
So true. There could be Okay, what would your ideal partner's like job be?
Anything
obviously
at all.
working with health insurance.
Yeah, I want them to have a good health insurance plan because I have no benefits at all. I'm so self-employed. No, I like if their job was to inspect blades of grass, like I would be so thrilled. As long as they're happy and passionate,
Yeah.
like you could sell me on anything. I'll listen to you talk for hours.
Yeah.
I just
That's
care
so
if you
sweet.
care.
Would you date someone who's in the industry?
Like yeah, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, you're very open-minded,
Yeah.
but you're also like, and I'm not dating that.
Well,
You're like, I would date kind of anyone, but no.
yeah. Well, I think that it's probably healthiest for me to like land somewhere emotionally
Yeah.
before involving anyone else in. Because I think when you go through a breakup, like obviously the first few months you're like, no one come near me, I hate you, I'm gonna die soon.
Mhm.
And then you obviously, your friends and everyone's encouraging you to get back out there, so you kind of go through dating again and seeing how it feels, and then I think you kind of come out on the other side of that and you're like, perhaps there are things that need to land for me before I should be in this
Yeah.
world.
I think that's a interesting way to put it. Like, let the feelings land. I think that's a huge part of going back to me and what we were talking about before. I'm like, that's a huge part of my problem is just having a lot of feelings, like about everything in life that I have been like this. Like, don't land on me. So
Yeah. My therapist is so sick, and I actually have multiple therapists, but they don't know about each other.
no.
Yeah,
way.
and they're not gonna watch this, so it's fine.
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't, because that would, I think, be unethical, right? So if you're watching, this is where you get out of here. Go scroll.
Goodbye, multiple therapists.
Yeah, so I actually do. I have multiple therapists. I love them. They're great. They don't know about each other. It's excellent. They do know about each other, but they know about each other in like as if I worked with that person previously, but not anymore.
Got it. My old therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
But you're like my old and current, my multiple therapists.
Yes. But yeah, so one of them is like very sweet and like a little bit more of a contemporary, like, I don't want to say peer because she's definitely older than me, and then one of them is like maybe like my parents' age. I don't want to age her, and God forbid she does see this. I don't know. She's older. She's like mom aged.
Got it.
She's much more direct, and she is like, you are doing everything you can to not feel anything right now, and I fear like we have to
Feel it.
do that. Like we can't.
And what does the other one say?
She is less direct. I think like one is like talk therapy, one's more like CBT. So yeah, the more like young one, I think we kind of talk more about like how to feel good on like a daily basis, like what am I doing? And the older one is more like existential and abstract and is like,
cool,
you're running away from your problems and like we need to confront your life.
Can I have her number?
Yeah, definitely.
I also, it's kind of an interesting idea to have multiple therapists because it's almost like you have like a daily manager and then you have like the manager who manages all the managers, like the boss. And then, you know what I mean? It's like,
Totally.
Let's get to the real feelings, the root. But then this person is like, let me just bitch. Sometimes like some of my therapy sessions are just like ranting.
Okay, so yes, and I have found that a great way to kind of circumvent that and not just like spend money to talk is I will sometimes send like a brief summary in an email. It's like, this takes you 30 seconds to read, and then we can just dive in instead of me spending 20 minutes
explaining
of the session giving context.
Okay, are you like a professional therapized person?
I've been in therapy every week of my life since I was 19.
Wow. So maybe you're a professional.
And I'm still this lost.
No.
So,
but you're also like not so lost. I feel like you have so many parts of your life figured out.
That's very nice of you to say.
It feels like that's what's going on.
Yes.
Yes.
Ladies, I would say I'm very put together and perfect.
I'm perfect. Slide into my DMs. No, don't.
No.
We can't decide.
No.
And by we, I mean I can't decide. You decide. And
I feel settled.
How many times can I say it? No. You have feelings you need to land, and that is fair. And that was great advice for me to hear. Sometimes my podcast is like also a therapy session. And then I'm like, I forget that like your manager's in the room, but then I forget.
Daisy, you're doing great.
You're doing great. I forget like anyone who wants to can watch it once it's online.
Yeah.
But I have to disassociate from that because I think I would never say anything.
Yeah, totally.
So
I think like typically like I feel like it's the same with music. Like if I thought about anyone consuming it, then I think I would hide in my room forever.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'd be so much harder to be vulnerable. At least in music, there's a lot more ambiguity because you can,
definitely
the music you posted on TikTok the last 2 days, so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Was it all yesterday that you posted that?
I've been trying to, as of 48 hours ago, I'm gonna start.
I really
stuff.
enjoyed it. Really good.
My manager promptly said, "Stop doing this."
Really?
He was like, "Just relax for a second. Let's figure out a plan." I'm like, "No plan. Here I go."
Just go back to the old days of like SoundCloud.
Oh, the best time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always can. Okay, I guess I should text this girl. Do you have anything coming up that you want to tell the people?
Yeah, I'm so coming off a cycle, which is a really interesting place to be in.
Also, I feel like these days for an artist, the second it's over, people are like, "What's next?"
Well, yeah. I mean, there's such a fear. I think that if you take a step back,
yeah, it's like this idea of staying relevant.
Yeah.
Is so much pressure.
Bro, being irrelevant's so great. Like I really hope a lot of people can reach that conclusion and come to peace with that.
Okay, guys, I fully just did not finish this episode and do a proper outro. So just so you know, you can find all of Chelsea Cutler's links below in the description box below, wherever you're watching or listening. Thank you for watching or listening. Chelsea is the best, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I really, really loved it so much. So yeah, thanks.